My father was a soldier. He joined the London Scottish in 1937 and served for 20 years in various Highland regiments. One of our most prized possessions at home is his loose-leaf diary. He started it on the 12th of August 1943, the day he shipped out of Govan on the Clyde as part of a force relieving the 51st Highland Division with the 8th Army in the battle for Italy. After Italy, including the liberation of Rome, he served in Palestine. On the 8th of May 1945, he was conducting an exercise on a hill called PT 508, when news came of victory in Europe and 2 days' leave. He and a few friends went out fishing on the Sea of Galilee. Sounds like the Bible, but it was improved in the best traditions of the British Army by the use of camouflage netting and a box of hand grenades. They caught 91 fish for dinner. At 4 o'clock, the Prime Minister broadcast. After dinner, they all signed the menu. They gathered in the mess for the King's speech on the BBC at 10 o'clock. As my father dressed for dinner, he wrote these words in his diary. I have been thinking today of some of the friends I knew really well who have been killed in this war. A short list that came to my mind at once. Here it is. 31 ordinary names: Ken Craig, John Campbell, Dick Lancaster, Ian Fraser, Ian Jack, Ken Seaton. It will take a long time to realise that the war is really over, just as it took some time to realise it had begun. I wonder how many other people, civilian as well as service, had similar thoughts that night. How do we react to those men's names? Mindful of the sacrifices others have made for us, what have we to show for it all? I wonder what those ordinary men on his list would make of our lives 75 years on. Christians talk about a communion of saints. If they could see us now, perhaps they can, would they think it was all worth it? I hope so. Our technology would fascinate them. They would be glad to know that the kind of European war that shaped their lives and their deaths were now unthinkable. My father observed how profoundly many of the men with whom he served longed for a different, better future. For them, like the poet W.H. Auden, war came when the clever hopes expired of a low, dishonest decade, the 30s. They longed for their families again and a fresh start and a life where people looked out for each other, fairer, better than the inequality and squalor they had left behind them to go to war. Well, we made great strides with that, especially in the years immediately following the war, though some recent trends make me wonder whether we have quite fulfilled those hopes as much as we like to think we have. In a different way, we are all undergoing now some testing times. We're rediscovering our need of each other, the need to value everybody's service, to cherish and contribute freely to our neighbours' lives, as well as our own selfish interests. These past few weeks have revealed an immensely good heart in so many ordinary people in our community. I think my father's friends would take great pride in that. Of course, for many the war was by no means over on VE Day. For men on the Burma Railway, all over the Far East and their families, it was anything but over. Perhaps by VJ Day in August we'll be able to celebrate more publicly than we can now. The Kohima War Memorial marks the resting place of over 2,000 soldiers of the Burma campaign. This is what it says. When you go back, tell them of us and say, for your tomorrow we gave our today. Where does that thought leave us on this 75th anniversary of VE Day? Farewell to Ken Craig, John Campbell, Dick Lancaster, Ian Fraser, Ken Seaton. Farewell to those men of 1945. And over to us.